Y'all, we have to talk about Healer. Let's go. Healer has been on my list of shows to watch for at least a year to 2 years. And for whatever reason, I just kept kind of putting it off and choosing other shows. It is such a solid, well done show that I would highly recommend it to anyone. And I am devastated that I did not watch it sooner, that I waited so long. But you know what? I got to enjoy it, so we'll let that go. So the main character in Healer, he is an errand boy, and that is someone who basically will just do jobs for whoever will pay him money. So if that's like espionage, if it's getting information out of someone, if it's like sneaking into someone's house, breaking in and stealing something, like whatever the job is, as long as it doesn't require killing, he'll do it for a fee. And he has a partner that he works with, someone undercover. He doesn't really know who she is. He just calls her Ajava, and that's the woman who does all of his hacking, sort of keeps track of any cyber activity, handles all of the electronics and that sort of thing, and they work as a team to do these sort of odd jobs. And so of course this is very boy meets girl, romantic comedy mixed with action thriller. So our female lead is a, oh my gosh, I forgot the word for a minute. She's a reporter. She's a reporter. She really wants to be a big time reporter, someone who's taken seriously in the news world, someone who reports on the things that are happening, tells the truth, doesn't just sort of fluff it up. You know, she wants to be someone who's really gets to the core of the issues and changes lives throughout reporting. And so of course these two characters collide in a way where Healer is tasked with investigating her a little bit. We don't really know why. We learn about how they're connected and some of their backstory and that sort of stuff, but basically he's given a job to get some nail clippings from her for DNA, and so that's sort of their first meeting. And then as it progresses, he sort of has to integrate himself more into her life, and she's also investigating and she's kind of intrigued by this Healer character. And there's a bit of unknown factor where she knows this guy who's a new intern at her company, but doesn't really know that he's also Healer. And so Ji Chang-wook sort of has to play both parts, which is really fun to watch, and he does an absolutely amazing job playing the two sort of characters, having them feel very different as he plays these two different characters, and you get to sort of see them, the two worlds sort of slowly colliding as the story progresses, and we learn more about why he's sort of been tasked to investigate her, and what they both have sort of a family backstory and how those might intermingle as well. And there's other bits and pieces and a conspiracy and all sorts of stuff that sort of intermingle in together. Overall, I have to give Healer a 10 out of 10 for story and plot. I was never bored throughout the whole thing. And sometimes with K-dramas, usually I find around episode 12, 13, I sort of dip a little bit, where there's that middle ground where you're sort of building to the finale, but you have to get all that middle stuff in. Edge of your seat, amazing action sequences, fantastic like hand-to-hand combat, really great characters that you fell in love with and wanted to learn more about, well-rounded characters. I would say the main cast, there's probably about 5 or 6 people, and they were all fantastic. Yeah, and I thought a pretty satisfying ending. I know some people maybe didn't love the ending. Endings are hard in general, and I've watched enough K-dramas to appreciate a good ending when it does happen, and I think this is a really good ending. Maybe a little bit rushed, but all in all, really well done. The acting was really well done. All of the characters, I think, all of the actors really delved into their characters and brought depth to them. The action sequences were amazing. I mean, if you've watched K2, this is sort of like beginner to K2. It's not as much action as that, but it's enough that it's so good. And Ji Chang-wook has a very specific, like, fluid action style, and that definitely was on display here. His peak form was amazing to watch, as always. And the script was very well done. Kept my attention. There wasn't anything that was like left field or new twists that I didn't see coming. It was, all the twists and plot turns were fairly predictable, but in this case I didn't mind, because that was part of the enjoyment for me. I kind of knew what the points were going to be, and they were executed so well that I enjoyed it nonetheless. Ji Chang-wook was fantastic. He had to deal with having sort of two different personalities. In some cases, he did a little bit of like espionage where he was playing different characters as well. That was really fun. But he does both roles very, very well. And I always love watching him. He does an amazing job with action. It's fun to watch. He's funny. Our female lead was Park Min-young, and she is, of course, incredible. You all know that. This was her. She was so cute. And she's an amazing actress. She really brought a lot of depth and emotion and empathy to the role, as well as having that sort of newbie, wants to do well, wants to impress everybody, but is also prepared to like stick to her guns. And I really loved that about her. Her and Ji Chang-wook were a great pairing. They had wonderful, amazing chemistry. So good. My favorite character. She has shown up in several K-dramas, and I love every single character that she plays. Her name is Kim Mi-kung. I think that's how it's pronounced. And in Healer, she plays the hacker healer's partner, sort of behind the scenes. But I love her so much. Like, every character she plays is a little bit sassy, a little bit funny, kind of has like a hard exterior, but you can tell like underneath is just like a caring heart of gold. And she did amazing in Healer, but I just realized, like, this was a show that made me realize that I love her, and any role that she's in ever, I will love her. She's got to be like my favorite actress. The rest of the supporting cast was really good. They had a great villain, sort of someone that you could empathize. Well, there was sort of a tier of villains. One was like the obvious villain, and you could sort of get some of his backstory and empathize with him. And then there was kind of the overarching bad guy, and he was, you know, just a good, solid villain. As far as critiques, I think probably my only critique is that some of the more secondary, like not the main cast, but some of the secondary characters, like some of like Park Min-young, some of her characters like office workers, office colleagues, some of those people, their characters weren't as well developed as maybe they could have been. They were a little one note. They were kind of just there to be there, and I thought that was kind of a missed opportunity to have a little bit more interesting characters and personalities added. And even at the end, like, there wasn't sort of clear ramifications for the villain. We didn't really know what the end result was kind of going to be, and I wish that had been a little bit more explained, or was maybe a little bit more satisfying. But overall, those are my only complaints. Healer is a great show, great action, fast-paced, excellent storytelling, fantastic acting, and if you're at all interested in K-dramas, even if you've never seen a K-drama, I feel like this is a great one to start with. And just if you love a good action romantic comedy with some depth and heart, this is definitely the show for you. I would give my rating 10 out of 10. You should watch Healer.